go.
Good brother, what's up, man?
What's happening? Let me get a better angle on this forehead up on this IG.
Hey,
What's
man.
happening?
Hey, man. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. You got me vibing here with the DJ Beloved,
Yeah,
with the
man.
diva vibes.
Beloved told me that y'all went to school together early and shit.
Absolutely. Love that brother. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
man.
man.
Good brother, man. You know,
Yeah,
birds of a feather flock together, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
definitely a good brother right there.
So listen, man. I'm gonna get right into this, man, because we got people that have been waiting. You know what I mean? So give me a minute
Okay.
as I do what I do.
Hey, everybody. Hey
You know what I
there.
mean? Thank you everybody for coming out.
Yeah,
You
thank
know,
you.
we're about to get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are now tuned in to the TKB Report. And I'm your host, K. Langevine. And today's guest is a comedic maestro, if you will.
Oh,
This brother has got over 3,650 days in the comedy game. Correct me if I'm wrong later after I finish bigging you up. I met this
appreciate
brother
you.
over 10
Hey,
years ago.
Nisa.
Over 10 years ago in the what I call the Jersey comedy chitlin circuit. This brother has withstood the test of time. Rolled with
Oh,
a
all right.
soon-to-be legendary crew. You know what I mean? He's transitioned and pivoted into other ways to stay relevant. Started the Ty Rae podcast. He does a breakfast social with other comedians where he invites them into his house and tries not to kill him with his cooking. This brother
Word.
has graced the stage most recently with the likes of comedy royalty, Marlon Wayans of the Wayans family. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other than comedian extraordinaire, Ty Rae.
Hey, thank you, Kurt. Ah, that was beautiful. I should have took my headphones so my wife could hear some of that shit. Baby, this was beautiful. What Kurt said. Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. And hello,
Yo, man.
everybody. Hello, everybody tuning in. Appreciate
Listen,
y'all.
listen, man. Thank you for coming out, ladies and gentlemen who are in the building. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
This is Tuned In with K. Langevine from the TKB Report.
All right.
I
What up, Nick?
first want to say that
What up, Nisa?
I respect the grind, I respect the hustle, and I respect the tenacity and the resiliency to not give up. I saw you early on when you first started out. We got a common friend, Double D, who
Yes.
is
My
you know
brother.
who I think it was you, Double D, Big P, Lil Eli. It was a crew you
Yeah.
all when we
Yeah,
used to be
yeah.
at the Diva Lounge, man. And
Big
you
love.
guys, big love. Rest in
Yes.
peace.
Rest in peace. Big love. Yes, sir.
You guys did a phenomenal job back then. I know it wasn't easy. Our room turned into the new Peppermint Lounge. When
Word.
they loved you, they loved you.
Yeah.
And when they didn't, well, goddamn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I respect the fact that you stuck to it, man. And I've been following you. We reconnected about a year, maybe 2 years ago
Right.
at a networking event in Montclair.
Yes. At the
And that's when
gallery.
at the gallery. And that's when I
Yep.
discovered that you had your own podcast. But enough about all that. Listen, I tried to do justice with an intro. I want you to tell the people who you are, what you represent, you know what I mean, where you from and all that good stuff.
Oh man. All right. Well, despite that lovely intro, that beautiful intro that Kurt gave me, thank you, man, for having me on your platform. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But I'm comedian Ty Rae. I'm from Montclair, New Jersey. I've been in the comedy game for about 16 years or so, and just started out grinding. Actually, my wife got me into comedy. To tell you the truth, I always admired comedy. Always been like the class clown and all that stuff. And my wife saw that I had an interest, and she got me into a Manhattan Comedy School.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it was funny because she just enrolled me in the class, didn't even tell me. And it was like 3 days after our honeymoon, we came home. She's like, "Hey, you got a comedy class starting next week." I was like, "What you talking about?" She's like, "It's in Manhattan for the next 3 months." And then after that, I
Welcome to
got the
married life.
yeah, married life. They just do. They just do and put you in it. So I owe a lot to my wife and supporting me and getting me, pretty much that kick in the ass to get me into comedy. And ever since that, I got the bug, man. I got the itch to go out and hit up, lounges like the Diva Lounge and just any bar or open mic just to kind of get into it and get my craft together.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. I put a lot of comedy shows together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy at all. So like you mentioned being the class clown and whatnot. Like what was it like growing up in your house? Like were you an only child? Was there a lot of brothers and sisters, cousins?
I was around a lot of love. I was the only child. I grew up with my mother, my grandmother, and my great grandmother and my grandfather. So some people would say that's spoiled. I would just say it's a lot of love. It's a lot of love in that house. But just being the only child and just being silly and I guess, always entertaining and making people laugh. I used to bug the hell out of my grandmothers all the time, make them laugh and I'm from a funny family. My mother's funny. My pops, he's funny. My uncle has a great sense of humor. So I kind of just pulled all that funny and that love from my family and always been like the person that's always trying to make the light out of a situation. So I've always been the goofy, silly kid, coming up in class and being at home, just being silly and saying something or doing something funny. So that was me.
So before your wife signed you up for that class, without telling you, I might add, which makes her a comedian in her own right because that's funny as hell.
Yeah.
So before that, you had no interest to explore that professionally?
Nah, not really. I mean, I always admired it. I always liked comedy. I was before I got into comedy, I was co-owner of a studio and we had a group and I used to be the hype man. So I'd be the first one on stage to get the crowd into it. That's when we used to be at the Peppermint Lounge. Had a crew called Day One, Wicked Wilderness. And we used to go out there for the talent shows. And I used to be the first one out there at the talent show to get the crowd into it. So, and we used to do, I did a hip hop instruction, like demonstration one New Year's for Montclair High School with a couple of my partners. And, I've always been around the cusp of like entertaining or speaking.
Okay.
And, and I was never like that growing up. I was the one in public school. If I had to do some kind of public speaking, I'd take the F. I wouldn't be the one standing in front of the crowd or the class reading the autobiography or something like that. I was shy away from all that. So it's funny how things turn around and now, I'm on the stage doing it like that. So yeah, that's how I got my start, just messing around, just being a hype man.
Me and you would have been in the back of the class getting those F's together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, well, I didn't get too many F's. Hold on now.
No. But I'm saying in terms of like public speaking.
And for real.
I shied away from it. So I'm saying in that regard, we would have been in the back of the class together, So,
yeah, I hate it.
So I've watched, doing my research, I've watched some video of you performing. And, it's one thing about comedians where they have to be comfortable with making fun of themselves and other people making fun of them. Talk about how important that is to have a sense of humor about things about yourself that are not too favorable.
Oh, well, you gotta have a sense of humor, especially about yourself. I think self-deprecation actually takes the pressure off the crowd sometimes. Like, oh, he's talking about his flaws, or he's he sees it like we see it. You know, like, yeah, I got a big ass forehead. Like, yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to talk about the obvious and just be comfortable with who you are. I'm comfortable with who I am, you know, so it doesn't bother me. If we can laugh or we can, you know, laugh at it, then let's laugh at it, you know. Doesn't
I
bother
saw
me.
I saw you said something about black don't crack, but it pushed the
But that hairline moved back. Yeah, black don't crack, but that hairline moved back like a
yeah.
mug. And growing up, man, I always, you know, we used to always crack on each other. A lot of, you know, we had thick skin growing up in the 80s and the 90s, man. If you didn't, you couldn't be around. You know, when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, it was my teeth. It was how big my teeth were. My hairline was great because I was, you know, I was youthful. I had a good, promising hairline. You know what I'm saying? It
You
came
got
down to here. I got photos, Kurt. I'll send it to you
you got
I'll send
you
it to
got
you.
Indian in your family? You got Indian in your
I
family?
got a little bit. I got
You
a
got
little
that
Indian.
curly hair and shit.
It's
That's that
curly in
question.
here. Yeah,
You
it's
got Indian in
curly.
your family?
It's a little bit of something in my family, but this is when the hairline was tight. When I had it down here, now I got bangs. But when I had it down here, oh yeah, then it was teasing my teeth. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey,
it was one thing or the other. It didn't matter. So you just
yeah.
you know you had that tough skin, and to talk about myself is nothing. It's fun to me, man. I have a lot of fun. If people laugh at it, then that's what it's all about.